This perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out the very first episode of this new miniseries that's playing on Hulu right now called Candy. This is starring Jessica Biel as Candy, and I'm forgetting old girl's name from Yellow Jackets, but she's also here. I think it's like Melanie or something like that, or Melina. I don't know. But this was a really fascinating episode. So we have our main character Candy here, and she starts off with talking about chopping down this tree to her husband and whatnot, and it was really eerie. This whole episode was very unsettling at some times, and very like, it had a very like thriller aspect to it. But then we get introduced to another character named Betty, which this whole series seems to be revolving around, and her husband Alan. And this was a really good scene right here, because it made me feel like that the husband was cheating on the wife, but as you watch the episode, that's not the case, because the husband has to go off to work, you know what I'm saying, and they're probably expecting another baby on top of another baby that's there, and they also have another daughter, you know what I'm saying. I guess she was like, I don't know, between like 8 or 10 or something like that. I don't know exactly her age. And I really like the setup of this, because it takes place, I think, in the early 80s, because they said they went to go see Empire Strikes Back in this episode. So I like the aesthetics. I like that, you know, you look at how the family household used to be back then, where it's just like, you know, the father would go to work and the mom would just stay home, take care of the kid and take care of the house and whatnot. So that was really interesting, just the whole aesthetic of just how this show looks. And I've liked the little shots of what we get of certain items that might seem insignificant, but I think will be important going forward. And maybe it's just for stylistic purposes or something like that, but I kind of just like the overall just vibe and the feel of this show so far. So we cut back to Candy and her husband. I forget I think his name was Pat. I could be off on that. And you know, they got kids of their own, and for some odd reason, you know what I'm saying, Candy wants Beth's daughter to stay another night. And this is where things get kind of interesting. And like I said, this is right around the time that Empire Strikes Back was out, so that's interesting. And it seems like a lot of people are kind of iffy about Candy, and just, I don't know, I think it's just really hard to tell what her true motives are. And I like how when we get to Beth, and how she's pretty much just cleaned up the house, and how you have this axe just conveniently in frame, which gives you a sign what's going to happen, or at least you suspect what's going to happen. But they just kind of give you little breadcrumbs as the episode goes along. She sees in the paper that The Shining is making headlines and stuff like that. That's another kind of clue. So that's interesting. And they also kind of have, I would assume, just like some type of business together. She being Candy, she works at like she does some work with the church, and they're getting ready for this pageant. Beth calls her husband up just to check on, because for some odd reason, she just really hates when he just has to work on weekends and stuff like that, and he's not really around. So he tries to call her back. She doesn't answer. He doesn't really think nothing of it. So then Candy shows up at Beth's house to get things for her daughter, for her to spend the night again and get ready for swimming. And this is the last time that we see Beth. And they let you know this. Like, they have these little timestamps and stuff like that to let you know exactly what happened. And this is where things get really, really dope. And I think Jessica Biel really shows her range, as we cut to, you know, her kind of, you know, we do get to see Jessica Biel somewhat butt naked. So, you know what I'm saying, that's a plus. That's a plus for me. I'm just saying. And you see that she's kind of traumatized by this. We don't see actually what happened, and I'm assuming right now, I'm gonna predict that in like the last episode, that's where they're gonna show like these two kind of wrestling or just like battling out, and we're gonna see exactly what happened to Beth's character. And it seems like this might be her first body, because the way she's acting throughout this whole episode, it's just like she's off, you know what I'm saying? And she takes the kids to kind of get some other things from the store. She gets a card. She starts to look at the and she starts to have some type of resentment. It's like she kind of regrets doing it and just leaving the baby there. This poor baby's just crying throughout the whole entire episode whenever we get to the house and stuff like that. So, you know, she has to completely act normal, but also has this in the back of her mind, like, yo, Shorty's dead. Like, now, was it on purpose or was it by accident? And you know what I'm saying? Has she done this before? Are they going around like killing kids' parents and just taking their kids? I don't think that's the case, because she definitely isn't a pro at this. Like I said, like, she's sitting there leaving evidence all around. So that's why I'm thinking there has to be more to the story with this. It's interesting, but it's just like, it feels almost too predictable, and I hope that it doesn't end up being predictable. Now, what's interesting about Beth's husband, that he wasn't cheating. He actually does care about his wife, because he's sitting there getting ready to prepare for a trip. You know, it's kind of like, he says, like a honeymoon. But at the same time, you got Candy here just kind of zoning out a lot of the times and trying to keep her composure and stuff, because once things hit the fan, people are going to start pointing a finger at her. And she repeats herself a lot in this episode, which is another, you know, I think another mistake her character makes. And I don't know, man. I just hope that this isn't really predictable and there's like more to the story here. So as the episode goes along, you still have Candy freaking out. She's throwing up. She's trying to just, like I said, keep her composure. But, you know, the husband keeps asking her, like, are you okay? The kids are just kind of triggered her at points. So it's interesting, man. It's really interesting. It's really fascinating to me. Watching Jessica Biel just play this character and just leaving breadcrumbs for people to just pretty much put two and two together with this episode. And so this is where we get Alan starting to get really worried about the whereabouts of his wife. And he just starts to like blow up the phone, even to the point where he has to call his neighbor to pretty much go check on the house. He does. Candy first, like, was the first to kind of volunteer, but he's like, nah, don't worry about it. I'll get one of my neighbors. And we get this whole neighborhood watch pretty much coming together. And we need more neighbors like this that are willing to just, you know, come out with all their straps and stuff like that and protect the neighborhood. But anyways, they're able to get in the house, and what they find is Beth's body. And man, it's really hard to say this to Alan, you know what I'm saying? So they lie. I don't know why they lied, or maybe they just didn't see the body fully. They just tell Alan, yo, your wife got shot. They didn't say anything about the axe, but, you know, there's an axe there and a pair of glasses. So like I said, man, I really hope there is a lot more that they're not showing, and it might be just on purpose. It's going to be interesting to see how Candy gets out of this, or it's already kind of said and done for her character. What's interesting, though, about this whole entire series, that it's based off true events. I want to kind of look into it after the series is done, because I don't want to spoil, like, the ending for myself. Because I think that it's probably going to be some crazy things that's going to happen. Maybe Candy's going to get pressed. But let me know how you guys feel about this episode if you checked it out. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. I recommend it. Really dope first episode, I think. I just hope that the story doesn't become too predictable. That's just my only worry or my concern about this mini-series. But till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.